If you love U-Wings, you may be familiar with the concept art from Rogue One during its development. This is an alternative model I've made from the Razor Crest of one of those concepts. One of my favorite concepts from the development, if I'm going to be honest. And this is a dropship version. Kind of took some of the fun things from your classic Republic dropship from an architecture standpoint, with the central bay, the twin engines up at the top, and it took away the wings and then smashed everything together with like a Vietnam Huey helicopter architecture. So really cool, resonates for me both from a Star Wars and a Citizen of Earth type aesthetic as well. And you may also notice there's a very strong similarity to another ship, the Razor Crest, from the Mandalorian series. And so the concept art here came first, and then the Razor Crest was developed afterwards. So I have never talked to the people on the design team, but I have a strong suspicion that there was some of the design elements from this concept that were put directly into the Razor Crest. Obviously, they spiced it up a little bit. I love these twin cannons in the front. The cockpit on the top is an interesting decision from like a dropship perspective, but is definitely more in line with the old Republic style dropships. But very similar designs there. So let's dig into this model here, what we have. So the concept has twin lasers up on the top, has a front cockpit. There is room for a pilot in there. And then I did try to make this play friendly, so you've got panels that move in and out easily to access the interior. There is a deck cannon that's built in here. I just kind of had some fun with that, but little deck cannon from IG-88. Poor little fella got sacrificed there. And we also have a rear section back here for some storage if you want. To get this back in here, let's see. Kind of pop those out a smidge and then it goes right back. I kept the landing gear the same. I didn't really feel like messing with that, so that's the same from the OG Razor Crest there. But you could see the overall profile here, a little bit more of a longer tail, a little bit more helicopter-esque in the rear there. Some fun decorations up here in the top. There are a few pieces left over too. I've got a little challenge at the end of the instructions to build a speeder of some type from the leftover pieces. So I've had some folks present their versions of speeders that could fit in here as well. I don't have mine anymore. I tore it down. I built like a little Baby Yoda speeder thing, which is pretty fun. We got the engines up here. It looks similar, but I did have to play a lot with the top section here to get this all to work. So it's got good structural support across the top. And I shortened this top to be closer to the concept and try to get everything to look and play nicely along there. You can see the original has a much taller support structure, so there's a lot of actual internal modifications to this engine profile. In the rear, if you look at the profile from the concept art, kind of has this notched rear engine, so I fiddled a lot with to get that notching to look right. So I'm very happy with how that turned out. So overall, this is a really fun model to build, and I've got some great feedback from folks that have bought the instructions and built it out and played with it. And my kids certainly like swooshing this and having some fights with the Razor Crest. Whenever I'm playing, this one seems to win, but when they're playing, this one seems to win. So I guess it's a pretty even power struggle depending on the pilot. So yeah, this is the concept. Had a lot of fun. I also made a mini scale version of this with this one from the 2025 U-Wing. So if you're interested in a smaller version, or if you have that U-Wing set and not the Razor Crest, this is another version that you could play with. They're both really fun. Obviously, this one's a bit smaller, but still accomplishes the objective, I would say, of the design. So if you look at those next to each other, little baby. Oh, that's kind of cute. It's like whales, and they got their little baby on the top. Anyway, happy building. I'm Steve. The rubricable profile is Tiny Hands Builders, and I hope you have a great day.